Okay. All right, so that is that. So I'm going to go to my folder. Right, going to share my screen. Where should I go to? All right, so I'm writing in this folder. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder for my website. So let's say you want to start creating a website now. The first thing you have to do is to create a folder. And from here, I'm going to create my folder. So let's just create a demo website for Pepsi. So my folder name will be Pepsi. So let's also say I'm creating a website for MTN. It's going to be MTN. If it's for Manchester United, it's going to be Manchester. If it's for Chelsea, it's going to be Chelsea. If it's for a personal brand, you can write it personal brand. So that's that. So let's just name this one Pepsi. All right, so created my folder Pepsi. If you get confused anyway, just let me know. So inside this folder Pepsi, I'll create 3 folders. One is IG. Inside this IMG, or let's say images, let me use images. Inside this images folder, this is where all your images would be. In a website, it has audio, videos, pictures, and all that. So all the pictures will be using in your image folder. Then you create a new folder. Creating a folder is as simple as clicking here, or you just right click, new folder. Then the second folder is your CSS. Okay, now CSS might sound complex or might sound strange to you, but that's the next folder you need to create. So CSS stands for, so I'm going to write this in our message box, cascading style sheet. So this is what CSS stands for. All right. Now CSS is the property that website has that makes it colorful, or that makes it look engaging in the eye. So now we're going to see how it's going to work practically. Then the next folder you'd want to create will be your JS folder. And inside this folder is your JavaScript content. So let me create it right now, JS. That's your JavaScript. So these are the 3 folders you need to create to get started on your web design project. So the first is your images, where your pictures would be. Second is your CSS, and third is your JS, your JavaScript folder. All right, okay. So the next thing you need is the HTML file that would actually be hosted on the internet. So to create this file, there are different ways to do that. I'm just going to show you a quick way to do that. So just right click on anywhere on your desktop, file, text document, you name it index. Okay, the first file you create while building your website should be your index file. And mind you, file is different from folders. The folders are your CSS, images, and JS. But for files, the first one you need to create is your index. Your index file is the first file your server is going to locate when your website is hosted on the internet. So that's why you need this index file. So when you open your index file, all right, I'm just going to share my screen again. So we'll see what's happening. So just a moment. All right, so okay, we've talked about the folders. And before we started this class, I told us about the software we need to build a website, which one of them is your browser and your text editor. So I'm going to show us what a text editor looks like right now. Right, so I'm going to share my screen again. new share. Okay. All right, this is my text editor. I don't know if you can see this. This is my text editor. This is my text editor. This is where you'll be building a website. So I'm going to zoom in so that we can see everything that's happening right here. Hello. All right, so this is it. So what I'm going to do is I'll just drag my folder, the Pepsi folder we created, into my text editor. And as you can see, let me use my magnifier so you can see this properly. Okay. As you can see, the Pepsi folder is now here, and your CSS file, IMG file they're all here. So let's create our index.html file. File, new file, Control S. You name it index.html. All right. So as you can see, you now have your index.html right here. And let's delete this index.txt. You don't need it. So your index.html is where you are going to type in your code. All right. I know this process might look complex, but it's very simple. You just create a folder. In the context of this class, we're going to create a demo project for Pepsi. So the folder name will be called Pepsi. Then we have our CSS folder, images folder, and JS folder. And then our index.html, this is where the whole code will be contained. Then inside your index.html, this is where you now write your code. Now, when you are creating a website, the first thing you need to write is your doc type. All right. And then you get started. Okay, doc type. All right, and this should be doc type. All right. So this doc type is just you telling your browser that, okay, I'm building a website on HTML5. But that's just something you need to just pay attention to. So the next you need to do is to type your HTML. Right? So this HTML now is what would help your browser know that, okay, what I'm handling now is the HTML content. All right, so when you type your HTML, you close it. The way you close all these things is when you type it again, HTML. All right, this is HTML, this is HTML. Then you now put a / at the beginning. So anything right here is inside this HTML, and this is opened, and this is closed right here. So any question before we continue? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any feedback? Okay, should I go on? All right, I believe you understand this. So HTML open, HTML closed. All right. Now the next thing you need to do is to get your head. Then, like you should expect, you close your head too by writing your head, and then putting your / before it. And then the next thing is your body. Just like a human being, you have your head and your body. All right. So this is the basic structure of a website. Your HTML opened and closed, your head, and your body. All right. Now, the next thing you need to do is to add a title to your website so that Google and your browser would know what the website is. So I can just come here and put my title, TITLE, and title should be Pepsi. Remember, I've been a website for Pepsi, then I close my title. Like you would expect. Title is here, title is also here, but with a / which is what is closing it. Okay, so that's that. And then our body is where the content of the website will be. So in our body, just write, hello, welcome to Fumi webinar. So just a demo content. Then you press your Control S. All right. So then what you're going to do is, this is actually a Zoom meeting. So sharing my screen from folder to the browser might take a while, but just let me just do that right now. So I'm going to share my screen again to my Pepsi folder. All right, so about my Pepsi folder. So I'll just open my Pepsi folder. As you can see, we have our CSS, images, JS, and then this index we've created already, which I've been typing all those code. So I'm going to open this index on my browser by right-click, open with your Firefox, your Chrome, Internet Explorer, anyone you want to use, but I'm going to use Google Chrome. And it's opened. So I'm just going to share my screen back to my browser so you see what's happening there. All right, so this class is actually recorded, so you can actually rewatch it over and over again. So as you can see, all right, let me try and zoom in a bit. All right, as you can see, it's written, hello, welcome to For Me webinar. And this is Pepsi, the title right here. So at this stage now, we are making progress. So I'm gonna take some pictures I've downloaded online to add to our website. But before then, let's go back to our code and add one or two things there. We're going to go back to my text editor. All right, we are back here. So actually, this is a website, Pepsi website. So you just have a heading. So when you want to make a heading on your website, use a H1. H1. Write welcome to Pepsi website. All right. Then, like as you would expect, you have to close it again with your / and H1. You've closed it. All right. Then we just write something else. Pepsi is a lovely drink you would love to taste. All right, so we're just trying to populate content. All right, now let's say I want to make this Pepsi bold. I'll just come here and put B tag, and I'll close it right here. So anything inside this B tag will be bold. Okay. Anything inside this title tag will be on the title. Anything inside this body tag from here to here will be on the body. Then for H1, anything from here to here will be your H1, and anything between this B will be bold. So I'm going to make lovely drink underlined. So to make it underlined, I'll use letter U for my U tag, lovely drink, and I'll close it. Okay. So that is that. So like I said, anything inside this B tag will be bold, anything inside this U tag will be underlined, anything inside here will be on H1. H1 means header 1. All right, so I'm going to switch back to my browser. Let's see what we've done so far. My Google Chrome. All right, so what's happening? Okay, yeah, this is it. So when I now refresh my browser, as you can see, we have our welcome to Pepsi boldly. We have our Pepsi is a lovely drink you love to taste, bold too. Pepsi is bold and lovely drink is underlined, like we discussed earlier. But like I showed us, this is not the actual size. I just have to zoom in so that you can see the content. This is what it should actually look like on a real website. All right, so moving on. I'd like us to add some pictures to this website so it doesn't look plain. All right, so I've actually downloaded some pictures which I'll be adding to our image folder. So let me share my image folder again. All right, I think we are there now. Right, so, all right, so I'll go to my images and I will right click and paste those pictures I've downloaded. So at the end of this class, I'm going to show us this file so we have on our system. So I might just name this one logo. Okay, then this one will be okay, logo image 1. This one will be image 2. This one will be image 3. That's going to be image 4. Okay, so these are logo image 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, when I'm building a website for someone, the website client or whoever has the website should provide you with content you're going to work with. So let's assume these are the content we have, our image 1, 2, 3, 4, and our logo. So I'll just come back to my code. Let me share my screen to my code again, my code, my text editor, Sublime Text. All right, we are here right now. So I'm going to add my image to the website, the first image. So I think this image will be okay when it's the first we see on the website. So I'll just come here and write img, okay, src equal to, then the folder of the image is images, and then the logo name is logo dot, oh, I think that's the png. All right, the logo is a png, so logo dot png. No, we have jpeg, we have jpeg, we have png and all that, so png, then I'll close it. All right, so I've gotten my image on the website. So this is how it is. This is not my doing. That's how HTML founders or developers made it to be. You write your IMG first, you write your SRC, then you do this. And you don't need to do something like to close your IMG again. Don't do that for images. Image is just a plain text, a plain function, if I should use that word. All right, so, all right, we've gotten our first image. So let me just go back and to my browser, so you just see what it's going to look like right away, so that we just follow the class. All right, so I'm back to my browser, and I'm going to refresh. As you can see, our logo is right here, and it's actually looking like the website now. All right, so let's, the logo actually looks big to me, so let's try and reduce the logo, the size a bit. So what I'll just do is I'll come here and add height. Height is equal to 30, or let's use 70, yes. Height is equal to 70. So when I go back to my browser and refresh, it's going to be a little bit smaller. Right, it's 70, and I think it's okay. So next I'm going to do now is I'm going to make all these things come to the center. As you can see, all of them are left aligned. To make them come to the center, I'll just come here and put my center tag, like as you would expect. Okay, and then I'll take the center, I'll close it at the end, so that every, all right, oh, let me go back to my text editor screen. All right, sorry about that. Oh, text editor, okay. All right, so what I did was to make everything to the center, I'll come here and write center, and then I would come down here and close it. So everything on the website is centered. All right, so this meeting is going to be going off in a moment, because it's 40 minutes per 40 minutes. So what I'm encouraging us to do is for us to join back with the link in case it goes off. Hope you understand. In case it goes off anytime, feel free to go back to the link. So let me just type this. In case your meeting is disconnected, join again using the same link I published. All right, so that's that. So I think everything now is going to be on the center. So I'd love to add other images too. So after we come to MTN Pepsi website, I'll add my image img src images folder, and then the second image was image one dot jpg. All right, to close this, so let's just give the height, or rather width this time around, 300. All right, so now to make this thing okay, now let's just see what we've done so far. When I go back to the browser, all right, then I'll refresh right here. As you can see, it's now working. Welcome to my Pepsi website. But as you can see, this image and this text are on the same line, but now I want them to be on different line. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to our code. All right, go back to our code. Then I'll just come here and put a BR. This BR means line break, to take the next text to a new line. So this now is the new line. Then I'll just come and add another image again. img src images folder / image2.jpg jpg. You can use with 300 again, so it looks uniform. And let's add one more image. So I'll just copy and paste this. So copy and paste. Then make this one image 3. And okay, let me put a line break here so that they don't look clustered. All right, so let's see what it looks like from the browser. Okay. All right, let me refresh. Oh my God, it's looking disorganized. All right, so let me try working on it again. Looking very disorganized right here. So I'm just going to go back to my code and see why it's disorganized. So, all right, okay, I think I need to put a line break here so that this one goes on a new line. All right, this line break here. Okay. All right, so let's go back and see what we've done so far. That's what it looks like. Going to refresh. Or as you can see, it's looking more like a website right now. So I need to add an extra line break here. All right, so I'm going to try something here. So practically we'll be adding a CSS to this. Like I told us, right here is a CSS folder and it's called your cascading style sheet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come here and write style equal to border. I want to add the border on this 2px solid silver. So I'm just doing here is I'm going to add a border of 2px. It's going to be solid, it's going to be a silver color on everything on this center tag. I know this looks confusing, but we just have to do this. Just gonna do this right now. So let's just see what it's going to look like on the browser. All right, I'm gonna refresh now. As you can see, you can see this border right here around here, but this is not really what we want. That's not what I want. All right, so what I'm going to do is, well, let me just take this out for now. Let me take this out for now. All right, let me take this out for now. So I'll just come to my, all right, so let me go back to my text editor, sorry. All right, I'm back to my text editor. All right, I just have to delete this, you don't need it for now. So I'm just coming here to type my style again, background. So we want to add the background color to this. Add the background color to this. So which color are we going to add to this? You could actually come here and say red or green or pink is going to work. Or you can actually use a color code. All right, so it depends on what you feel works for you or what you feel you'd want. So I'm just going to use a random color code. All right, right here. So let me paste this. All right. So let's see what the website is going to look like right away. All right, let's refresh again. As you can see, website now has a background color. All right. And the background color is making the text look not visible. So I can just come back to my code, okay, and then put semicolon, write color white. So this color now refers to the text color. Our background is the background, then color is for the text right up. All right. So let's just go back to our browser and see what we've done so far. So I'm going to refresh right away, and boom, the right up is now white. So this basically you can create a basic website in as much as it's not looking that fine, but but actually something when you have more content, it's going to look amazing. I'm just going to add towards something very funny and interesting to make the website look more engaging. So before your image, you add something, a tag called marquee. Marquee just to help the image move around. And I come and I close my marquee. All right, open and I close right here. Then when I go back to my browser, share my screen, and I refresh. As you can see, this is now moving around on my screen. All right, so this is all we need to know about front-end web design for this webinar. So I believe that after this class, you would decide whether or not to go into web development fully, or decide whether you can just give it a try to see, or just to explore. And I believe that it's really going to be of value to each and every one of us when you give it a chance. So like I said earlier, this webinar is going to be disconnected in a moment because of the 40 minutes plan Zoom gives to people. So when you disconnect, feel free to join the link again so we'd attend to your question and we'll see what next we have. All right, so let's go back to our code and have a brief recap of what we've done today. So when you want to create a website, just write this doc type. It doesn't really concern you, but just have to write it to tell your browser that this is the HTML document. Then you start with your HTML and don't forget to close it right here. So you open and you close. Then you have your head, which contains the title. You have your body, and you put a center tag. So everything on the website is on the center. And this is how you add your image. IMG, SRC means the source image